Village's Vitality listeners, I've got some good news for you. In Season 8, most new episodes were released as both audio and video versions. Videos on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, and YouTube. If you're listening via our Buzzsprout feed, you can ask questions via the fan mail button, or leave me comments as a text, or in our new feature, you can send it as a voicemail. If you'd like a response, make sure you leave your name, email address, and cell phone number.
Welcome to Season 8 of Village's Vitality Life, Seniors Life Unscripted. In this new season, we talk to leaders of clubs and interesting folks who live in and around the villages. We also talk to people who have information vital to seniors. You will get perspectives of what is happening in and around the villages, Florida. In addition, we will add more information for all seniors. We are a listener-supported podcast.
This is Mike Roth on Village's Vitality, Senior Life Unscripted. I'm here today with Mike Goldstein. Mike, thanks for joining me.
Pleasure being here.
Mike is a personal trainer with 15 years of experience helping clients improve strength, lose weight, and enhance overall health. Mike is certified by the National Personal Training Institute and the National Academy of Sports Medicine. Mike specializes in customized fitness, aquakinetic mobility, balance, and long-term well-being programs for all fitness levels. Mike, thanks again for joining us today.
Looking forward to it, Mike.
Mike, can you tell our listeners why you got involved with aquakinetic, your life story, what got you to that point?
Okay. Originally in my career, my last job, I was the CFO of a $100 million engineering company. I'd gotten to the point where I was severely overweight. I had reached the maximum of 280 pounds. I use it as a reminder. So now I looked at my life and said to myself, what's going to happen in the future? And I knew that a couple of things were going to happen with me. If you're obese, statistically, your lifespan is 7 to 10 years less, plus your quality of life gets decreased. Diabetes ran in my family. I knew I was going to get diabetes. I had sleep apnea. I wanted to get rid of sleep apnea. So those were some motivating factors for me to finally turn around and look and say, I have to get my life under control.
So you went down from 280 pounds to how much?
I lost 110 pounds. I actually got down to a point where my wife said I was too thin. I want you to put 10 pounds more on. Now, it was a combination of exercise, but also losing weight means negative calories. So you have to learn how to eat properly. Now, a weight management program does not mean you have to give up anything you love. It's just a matter of doing it. Don't be excess. So for instance, let's say you like cookies. I might tell you to have 5 good days of watching and logging foods. And then, okay, on the next 2 days, you can indulge a little bit with cookies or whatever that might be. Now I decided to change careers and I wanted to help people.
So today, you changed your eating habits and living habits. Are you a vegetarian?
As a fitness trainer, and I also have a nutritional background, you really want to have all 3 groups. You want to have your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. How many? Protein is the most important thing for you to have. You want to shoot for 100 grams a day, which might be a challenge, but that sustains you, helps you build muscle, and also doesn't make you hungry. Then you add to that your vegetables and your fruits where you're getting fiber, and you will find that you won't be eating as many carbs and fats as you normally do. You still want to have them. You want to have healthy carbs and healthy fats.
Good. For our listeners, many of them may not have heard the word aquakinetics. Can you define that for them?
Sure. Aquakinetics is a water resistance fitness program. It combines strength training, cardio, balance, flexibility, and also rehab exercises in the pool.
Can you tell us what aquakinetics means?
Well, the aquakinetics is actually a name that the National Association of Sports Medicine named it when they created this certification for the water program.
Now, who can benefit from kinetics?
So aquakinetics is really for everybody. It's ideal for beginners, seniors, for people who want to lose weight, but it's also good for athletes. I myself do this program as a complement to my regular workouts with weights and resistance bands.
Can it help people recovering from conditions like a stroke or heart attack?
Yeah. So the beauty of the water is a very safe environment. You don't have to worry about balance, and it's easy to do. So I've worked with stroke people that have had cardiac conditions, and then Parkinson's is a big one. You can go research, and there's a lot of studies out there where they've shown that water programs can give them primary benefit, not just for the physical part, but the neurological part of Parkinson's.
Now, we just did a show a couple of weeks back on Parkinson's and exercise based out of Austin, Texas. But they use chair exercises or stand-up exercises, not water. Now, how is Aquakinetic good for weight loss?
One thing that's important in weight loss is increasing your metabolism so that you can burn more calories. And when you're in the pool and your weight is reduced, you can be more active. For instance, I can take an 80-year-old grandmother and have her do jumping jacks in the pool, and she will feel good about it and get her heart rate up, cardio, burn calories. Well, if I did that on the land, first of all, I would never do it, but that would be malpractice, and the person would, because the next day they'd probably not get out of bed.
Fall down when they're trying to do a jumping jack. Now, many of our seniors haven't done enough exercise, so they might be classified as beginners. How do you customize a program of Aquakinetic for a beginner here in the villages?
So the resistance equipment that we use both for the upper body and the lower body have different levels in terms of the resistance you get. Also, 3 factors. How long are you doing the exercise for? How much rest in between? And what is your intensity level when you're doing the exercise? And all of that can be modified to the individual person. And then also, as they get stronger, we can make it more intense, less rest in between, and get them to work harder.
Every year when I swim in the pool in the springtime, like it is now, I'll begin with 6 laps of the pool, and that's about all my body can take. But by the end of the swimming season, it's at least 12 laps.
Okay.
So that's a gradual buildup. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. And you'll know that because you'll either add more resistance to the program, or you're going to be able to do it for a longer duration, or you're going to have a shorter recovery from the exercise.
Is Aquakinetic safe for people who have knee or back injuries?
So because of the buoyancy of the water, it's low impact. So if you're had a knee replacement, a hip replacement, you've had back issues, you can get in the pool and work on it and not have the ramifications of the high impact that you may get of body weight doing a land program. And it's safe for everybody. I've never had anybody get injured. You're working, the water also keeps you from sweating a lot so you don't get overheated.
Now, Mike, how often should someone do an Aquakinetic workout who's looking to lose 5, 10, 20 pounds?
So just to clarify, fitness training is not specific to losing weight, okay? The fitness training program that you want to focus on is we want to burn fat and we want to build muscle. You lose weight is you combine that with a weight management program, which has to do with how many calories do you take in versus how many calories do you burn. If you burn more calories than you take in, you will lose weight. Fitness training helps with that, but you could train 7 days a week, but if you eat too much, you're not going to lose weight.
When I was in kindergarten, they gave out an award if you ate all of your lunch. It was called the Clean Plate Club. I won the Clean Plate Award when I was in kindergarten. I'm still trying to get rid of it.
I also didn't answer quite the question about how often you should be exercising. I find that the minimum requirement is twice a week, with supplemental workouts from a trainer giving you stuff to do on your own, to as many as 4 times a week to get maximum benefit. A lot of people need motivation. A lot of people need to be pushed when they do their workouts, and doing workouts with a trainer allows that to get better results.
What are the benefits most people would see from Aquakinetic?
2 things in the pool that you're going to work on a lot is, one, you're going to get balance and work on your core. So when you're going out on the land, and as I tell people, you're not a fish, so you live on the land, you should be able to feel yourself feeling more stable as you're walking, better balance when you get in, up and down from a chair, when you get out or into the car. You should be able to feel stronger and be able to do that easier. That's usually a big indication of how you're doing. Now, when I combine that with a land workout, one thing I do use is, can people progress from doing a very minimal push-up to a full push-up? And I've had women, especially about 6 months, they'll start with what we call a wall push-up, and they'll end up doing, and they can see that visual with themselves. They see themselves, feel themselves getting stronger.
Balance is a real big issue, whether there are injuries from falling in your home or falling when you're on a pickleball court. Injuries from falls are very concerning for seniors. How does aquakinetics make balance better?
So first of all, there are statistics out there that once you hit 65, 1 in 3 people will fall. Now, what happens with that fall varies. It could be something as bad as head trauma, but I do have a lot of people where they break their hip and now have to have a hip replacement, injure their back, smack on their face. And then once you reach 80, it's 1 in 2, unfortunately. So how does Aquakinetics help? That I usually work with people on is always going to be working on balance and working on your core. We are working on also the muscles in the 5 major lower body groups. We have the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, the calves, and the core. Those, if they're strong, they're going to help stabilize your body and put you in a position where you won't fall. But just to go on one more thing with the exercises, you're also training your brain. Similar to when you drive a car, most of us, when we're driving, don't just make a left turn, or if someone cuts us off, we have our experiences in the subconscious. So when you need muscle memory, so if you have a balance issue, by doing balance exercises, your body safely react and hopefully help you from getting in trouble.
Let's take a quick break and listen to a tip from Dr. Craig Curtis.
When we talk about the causes of heart attacks and strokes and peripheral vascular disease, we all know about things such as diabetes, smoking, and poor diet choices. Those are all called modifiable risk factors. You can change those and you can lower your risk. And then if we talk about non-modifiable risk factors, things you cannot change, there's a cholesterol that has been labeled the ghost cholesterol.
I've heard of good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. Now I have to worry about a ghost cholesterol?
That's right. There's a cholesterol known as lipoprotein. It's been known about for a long time. However, scientists over the last decade have discovered that this is one of the major risk factors for heart disease, cardiovascular disease, cerebral vascular disease such as strokes, and peripheral vascular disease such as problems in the legs. And what they've discovered is that this is a genetically linked lipoprotein. What that means is it runs in families. And unfortunately, we've had no way to modify this.
To learn more, visit his website, craigcurtismd.com, or call 352-500-5252 to attend a free seminar.
I'm back with Michael Goldstein, and we're talking about aquakinetics and how that can improve your health. What kind of things can people do or in the aquakinetic program with you at home in between visits to the pool?
Many of the balance exercises that we do in the pool, I show people how they can do it in their home. Now, of course, paramount of keeping safe, a lot of these exercises, you could be sitting in a chair, or you have a chair to the right or the left of you to help keep you doing your balance exercises. And as you improve, you'll find that maybe you won't have to hold on the entire time to the chair. Then your hand comes a little bit off of it, and then eventually you can build up from 10 seconds to 15 seconds to 20 seconds. That's how you improve your balance and stay out of trouble. There's one simple thing I offer people. A new client, after the first session, they walked out, and I saw them when they were walking, and I look and evaluate people, and I saw this person walking with their head down. And so I asked the person, why are you walking with your head down? And they said to me, I have to see where I'm going. So I said to them, do me a favor. I want you to look down initially in front of you, see that there's nothing in front of you. Now I want you to lift your shoulders back, head back. And first of all, you're going to feel your core engage more, which is going to give you more stability. And now as you walk, just like with a car, it's just going to change in front of you. She walked out of that session and went to her husband who had been waiting for her. And she said, wow, look at how I'm walking much better. And I'm not waddling from side to side, all from just changing your posture. Even if people use walkers, I see a lot of times where they're looking down. And what you really want to do is have that head up and your shoulders and your core, and you don't engage your back. And it's a much healthier way of walking and keeping you safe.
Okay. Now, why don't you tell our listeners how aquakinetic, Michael, is different from water aerobics? Here in the villages, people play a lot of this water volleyball or splash volleyball. I even heard of injuries in those games. How is aquakinetic different from regular water aerobics that we have a lot of here?
So aquakinetics focuses more on the resistance training, functional movement, and we use customized equipment that allows you to get resistance in the water. For instance, on your legs, you get a Velcro thing with little paddles that I tell people is equivalent to if you put an oar in the water, and a lot of us have done rowing or canoeing, and when you put that oar in the water, you feel the resistance in the upper body. So imagine your legs with that resistance being an oar in the water, and that's how we work the muscles in the body. Also, because of the way it's designed, you get what's called a push-pull, which means when you work your muscles, you're working it two ways.
You push down, it takes an effort. You stop the muscle effort. Going up is no problem. I see a lot of people in the pools just walking back and forth in the pools. What do you think of that as an exercise?
When you first start out and you haven't been doing anything, walking in the pool is fine. Especially if you're with somebody, there's also a social factor to that. So I know a lot of people that are just getting out of bed in the morning, let's say, and meeting 2 or 3 of your friends at the pool at 10 a.m. in the morning and doing some walking. There's a social benefit to that in terms of getting out of bed, not being a couch potato. However, without adding additional resistance to the legs, your muscle is going to plateau and it can't get any stronger. So you have to find a way to add resistance to the legs or to your walk in order to benefit from that walking in the pool. I tell people to slow down when they're walking, lift their leg up off of the pool floor, and take a very slow walk. And each step, because your leg's off the water longer, you have to balance. So that is something you could do without equipment to still work on your core and your balance in the water without it. But of course, the additional resistance does give you another added benefit.
So if you're walking in the pool with a friend, you could just slow the walk down.
Correct.
Doesn't help a guy like me who likes to swim. Swimming across a pool, I've learned that I got to wear a face mask and a snorkel because swimming across a pool with walkers is like this.
Like you mentioned about swimming, just so you know, in the aquakinetics program, you're basically going to be in chest level water. You're not swimming. You don't even have to get your hair. I also do integrate with some float devices. I do something in the pool called zero gravity training, where your feet are not touching the ground, and we're doing exercises, and you'll find that your core now has to work even harder because the legs are not in the pool on the ground helping you with that.
Now, how does that work for a taller person? If you're 5'4", it's pretty easy to get them off the level of the pool.
So most pools, at least in the villages, go from 3 to 5. So unless I have somebody who's really tall, usually if they're in the 5-foot water with the float device, they can get their feet off the water and do this zero gravity training. Sometimes
you change the center of gravity, and you may move the center of gravity.
Not having the legs. So sometimes a person may not be upright completely, but may be angled slightly if they're a little taller, so that we can keep them in the water floating.
Okay. And now let's talk about better recovery and rehab. So a lot of people are in rehab for various conditions, everything from rotator cuff to arthritis. How does aquakinetic work for those types of folks?
Okay, so most people, when you finish rehab, or you go into rehab. The idea of rehab is to get you functional and to get you to a level where you can do everyday activities, whether it's walking, showering yourself, laundry, just regular things. What rehab does not do is get you what I call above the line. The real thing you want to do is you want to get your fitness level above the line for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to help you with your everyday life, but...
What do you mean line?
Okay, so, and again, not to get into the insurance companies, but insurance companies pay the rehab people to get you functional. They're not there to get you what I call above the line, so where you can actually be more active. They're not there to do rehab so you can go back out and play pickleball or go out and play softball or go out and do any kind of sports activity. That's not what rehab is for. Rehab is just to get you back to a normal everyday. So to me, one, I like to get people stronger above the line so that they can do all these activities. Also, it does give you a little bit of a buffer. Let's say you do have another issue and you might be back to that line, but now rehab becomes a lot easier as opposed to if you get injured again, now you're way below the line. You have to go back to rehab and almost start from scratch. So once you finish the rehab and you're still working at it, the pool allows you to get in the pool. Now you don't have to worry about the joints and you can continue to strengthen yourself. Now, the ultimate goal still is to transition you a little more, eventually to do some land workouts so you can learn to deal with your full body weight.
Okay, and let's talk about aqua and stress management and how aqua helps you burn more calories.
So when you're in the pool, because every movement you make, you have resistance to the water, okay, you're elevating your metabolism. Your metabolism is going to help you burn more calories. So there's no wasted energy in the pool. Also, because of the not having to deal with your full body weight, most of the time people can go almost an entire hour without having rest or very minimal rest in between. While if you're doing a more conventional land program, you may have to sit down, but other pools may have this. In the pools to the south of 44, they built a lot of the rec pools with ledges that people can actually sit on the ledge. So a lot of times if I have somebody who's really new, they will rest by sitting on the ledge, but we're still going to do exercises while they're resting the body sitting on the ledge.
So will aquakinetics cause less muscle soreness people get when they work out?
Usually if you're doing a land workout with people, you don't do consecutive days because you want to have a day in between to recover. If you wanted to do aquakinetics 7 days in a row, you could physically do that. I used to have clients where they would maybe do a land and a pool and a land and a pool in consecutive days, and the recovery allowed them to do that. Of course, each person is individual. I do analyze and look at that person's
Let's talk
physical.
about that. How do you analyze someone new coming in?
Okay. First of all, I meet with them and get all their medical background, what a doctor should do. I find out, is there any medications they're taking that affect exercise? For instance, cholesterol medication is not going to affect. But if you're on medication for, let's say, high blood pressure, that's something I want to know about. Are you diabetic?
Why?
If you're diabetic too.
No, about blood pressure.
So when I want people to get a target heart rate when they work on their cardio, if you're not on blood pressure medication, I have a formula that's standard in the industry to give you a range. If you're on blood pressure medication, your heart rate is artificially adjusted. What I have to do is now do something called perceived level of exertion. And we use that. It's not as scientific. And we get to a certain level, and then we look at the heart rate of that person. And then I use that heart rate to come up with a range for working on their cardio.
When they're in the pool doing this aquakinetic, do you have a heart rate monitor attached to them?
So again, you're going to judge from a perceived level of exertion. So when I'm working with the person now, some people now have watches, whether they're Apple watches or Fitbit watches, that are water resistant, and they do bring them in the pool, and it does allow them to monitor their heart rate by looking at the watch.
I don't bring my watch.
No, I'm saying that's
Into
for
the pool.
that's for some people.
Mine is water resistant.
Okay.
It's got a microphone and speaker. That's not water resistant as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, the aquakinetics program, what conditions can it be customized for?
So for instance, Let's say you had somebody who's even wheelchair bound. You can do water. First of all, most pools have a disabilities chair that can put you in. I physically sometimes will go into the pool and be with that person. So let's say you're on a wheelchair and I use float devices and I go in there with you and make sure that you're safe. So you can do that. But different conditions. So we have our weight loss, arthritis. A lot of people have arthritis issues. That issue has to do with inflammation. As you do exercise and you build up muscle, you reduce inflammation in your body because the blood flows easier. And that's another indication that'll help with the arthritis. If you have Parkinson's, another big one, balance issues, we're able to work with you so that you can limit the exposure to falling. You have a knee, back, or hip issue, whether or not you've had surgery or not, that can be problematic when you do resistance program with injuring yourself. So the pool allows you to do that safely. Stroke. It's a very simplistic program. So when you're trying to either get the person back in shape or help with their fine motor skills, you don't have a lot of moving parts that allow you to help improve that. A lot of people can't move that fast on the land. So how do you get your heart rate up? But in the pool, you'll be able to jump around and elevate that heart rate. So in general, that will help your overall fitness.
What about people who have brain injury? We have a lot of people that are way below 55, had a brain injury, maybe in a car accident, and they're living with an adult parent in the villages. Can these folks be helped by Aquakinetic?
Because the program is very simplistic, so the only moving parts, moving your arms and moving your legs. You have no specialized equipment. You're holding on to the upper body equipment with your hands, which anybody can do, and on the legs, they're attached. So there's no moving parts. Even if you have memory issues, the person working with you can show you now, here's what we're doing next. And they can see what they're doing, and then they repeat that, and then you're watching the person and adjusting them accordingly.
The last question that I should have asked at the beginning, Mike, is, are you in the pool with the person doing the Aquakinetics exercise?
Whether I'm in the pool or not depends on the situation with the person. A lot of times if I'm out of the pool and people can see me, I have two benefits. One, I can look down under the water and get a better angle to see what they're doing under the water with their legs and whether they're doing it properly. Two, if I have to show them a correction, it's easier for them to see me up high. Now, if I'm in the pool with them, it's a little more difficult for me to see what they're doing under the water and if I want to do a correction. However, if the person needs me in that water for mostly balance issues, I get in the pool with them and we do that. Not in the villages per se, but I used to do a lot of work with people in the spectrum. The water is very calming, but I would always be in the water with that person just to make sure everything was okay.
So, Mike, if someone wants to contact you about your Aqua program, how do they do that?
Okay, I don't have a website, so the two ways to contact me is my cell phone number is 917-543-7253. Telephone or text, I'll be very responsive. Or you can email me at Michael, Mark, M-A-R-K, G for Goldstein, at gmail.com. So it's michaelmarkg@gmail.com. One more thing that Mike didn't ask me. Let's say you're somebody who is not in the village area, some distance away, and you're interested in doing the program, whether it's a pool or a land. I actually do work with people virtually. First of all, I tell them where to go to purchase the equipment. I will tell you that it's not inexpensive. Probably would cost you about $200 to start off. Then the person gets in the pool. I have people that put in the two ways with they'll put waterproof things in their
Earbuds.
They'll have their iPad in front of them so that I can see them and they can see me and I can actually take them through a workout, doing it virtually. If you wanted to talk to somebody who has done that, be happy to give you recommendations. Same thing with a land workout if you're interested.
Mike, thanks for joining us.
Mike, pleasure. And I look forward, if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Remember, our next episode will be released next Friday at 9 a.m. Should you want to become a major supporter of the show or have questions, please contact us at mike@rothvoice.com. This is a shout out for supporters Tweet Coleman, Ed Williams, Duane Romick, Paul Sorgan, and Dr. Craig Curtis at K2 in the Villages. We will be hearing more from Dr. Curtis with short Alzheimer's tips each week. If you know someone who should be on the show, contact us at mike@rothvoice.com. The way our show grows is with your help. Text your friends about this show if you enjoyed listening. Use the fan mail button on our homepage, villagesvitality.life, to leave comments. Be sure to include your name, email, and phone number. We thank everyone for listening. The content of the show is copyrighted by Roth Voice 2026, all rights reserved.